for Vietnam over the past 4,000 years, please keep your focus on our presentation section 1, titled Vietnam, More Than 4,000 Years of History, presented by Ms. Lan Anh. Please welcome Ms. Lan Anh on stage. Thank you.
In order to know about a country, it is said it's very important to know about the history of that country. How much do you know about Vietnam? In today's Day Vietnam 2011 event, so that people from various countries will further their understanding about Vietnam, I would like to introduce to you about the history of Vietnam. Now please listen to the 4,000 years of history of Vietnam. Vietnam is a narrow and long country, long south to north, in an S-shaped country, and has a lot of islands in addition to land, inclusive of Hoàng Sa Islands and Trường Sa Islands. Vietnam is located on the east side of the Indochina Peninsula. Vietnam has 54 ethnic groups. Since old times, they have mutually acted together in unison to build the country, protect the country, and have developed the country. Since the foundation of the country of Vietnam, 4,000 years have passed. During these 4,000 years, there were many difficult eras and times, but there were also times that we can feel very proud about. Vietnam, with abundant resources and facing the Pacific and being located in a convenient place, over the 4,000 years, many large countries have invaded and aggressed into Vietnam many times. Every time we had to fight the war to defend our country. In talking about the history of Vietnam, it is the feature of our history that we have had to repeat these wars and battles. But what I want to take note of is that in every era, talented people appeared, and the spirits and ethos of the people of our country appeared, and outstanding works of literature and legends have appeared related to the history of those times. Today, in the limited time available, I would like to talk to you about the history of Vietnam through talking about famous episodes and famous historical events and about the famous people in the Vietnamese history. The 4,000 years I shall divide into 4 periods. They are Part 1, Vang Lang O Lac Civilization. Part 2, Dai Viet Civilization. Part 3, Time of Change in the Vietnam Society. Part 4, Vietnam during the Ho Chi Minh era. First of all, I would like to talk about Van Lang O Lac Civilization, about the time the country was built, established, and the country was defended. Vietnam has abundant greeneries and the sea. Vietnam has the following legend. O Ko, who came from the heaven, and Lac Long Quan, the dragon who came from the sea, married and bore something huge with 100 eggs. The dragon, out of the 500 children born from there, took 50 of them and lived in the sea, and Oko took the remaining 50 and moved on to live in the mountains. The oldest son became the king and started the Hung Vung dynasty. From 7th to 6th century BC, along the Hon River and Magawa River, located in the present-day North Vietnam, 15 communities were there together and acted together to build the country. Hong Vuong is said to be the founder of the first Vietnamese kingdom. So far was the legend, but in fact, in the remains of in the Hong temple and in the remains cultivated in other architectural remains, it was confirmed that Hung Vuong established the country of Van Lang more than 4,000 years ago. This is the first state of Vietnam. It was the first state built in the Southeast Asia. Van Lang dynasty continued for 18 generations. In all of them, the throne was passed on from father to child under the name of Hung Vuong. Since the Van Lang era in Vietnam, the unique rice cultivating culture prospered. In order to reminisce about this, every year in the spring, in the Hung Shrine, big festivals are held. Hai Ba Truong's rebellion movement is the history of never give up in Vietnam in the early days. When the enemy comes, even women fight. This is represented here, which is the spirit of the Vietnamese women. In 179 BC, the Olak state was conquered by the Han dynasty of China. Therefore, in order to recover our country, 2 women rose up. Hai Ba Truong means 2 women under the name of Truong. These 2 women were courageous, wonderful women. Hai Ba Truong started the rebellion movement. This rebellion movement ended victorious, and the independence of the country was regained. In 938, the Han dynasty, using the routes from the sea, aggressed into Vietnam. Ngo Nguyen led the soldiers and put together the following plan. On the riverbed of Bac Dang River, which is in the present-day North Vietnam, he, as a trap, planted piles that are pointed. When the tide was full, the ships were lured in to where the traps were located, and at low tide the ships were stranded, and by making holes in the ships' hulls, the soldiers quickly and thoroughly fought. The enemy had to give up their aggression. The following year, Ngo Nguyen became the king and started the capital in Co Loa. This victory after having been conquered for about 1,000 years by a country located in the north of Vietnam, since then, with this event, the full day of independence or full era of independence of Vietnam started. Now I would like to ask you 2 questions here. Do you know the answer to these 2 questions? Question 1. Where is the capital of Vietnam? A. Bangkok. B. Hanoi. C. Ho Chi Minh City. Where is the capital of Vietnam? Do you know where is the capital? Yes, please. The capital of Vietnam is? Thank you very much. You are correct. The capital is Hanoi. Thank you very much. Not Bangkok, not Ho Chi Minh City. Next question. Why was Hanoi selected as the capital? A, because of the livability. B, because a lot of food can be harvested and captured. C, wonderful scenery. Which is the answer? Which do you think is the answer? Yes, please. All. Yes, you are right. All the options are correct. All of these are correct. Thank you very much. Now, Hanoi was selected to become the capital. What was the circumstances that Hanoi was selected as the capital? According to a book of history, in July, autumn of 10,010, the king moved the capital to Daila Castle. The king and his officials' ship arrived in the port of Da Lai Castle and saw a golden dragon spring and fly up. The king thought this was a good sign and called Daila Tan Lan, which means the dragon rising, according to the book. On this occasion, the king issued the edict of moving the capital. A part of it is written as the following. Daila Castle is located in the middle of the earth and the heaven, and is in the shape of either a dragon or a tiger rounded up sitting, and around is surrounded by mountains and river, and people and lives are living vividly and are prospering. Looking at the whole of Vietnam, this place is very fortunate and is a very advantageous location. This place is the most appropriate location to be the perpetual capital of the country. Since this edict of the movement of